on, brothers and sisters, and you all spoke the same language.
Hmm.
Now there's multiple languages,
Right.
terminology. It's a huge learning curve,
Yeah.
and sometimes that learning never ends outside the military.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going from one job to another, and you're constantly in a learning mode because you're trying to find your spot.
Hmm. So Jeff, what years did you join?
So I joined in 2010. In 2008 is when I graduated high school. My dad gave me two choices. This was in Colorado Springs. He said, "Son, look, you either join the army now or you come with me to Germany." So I was like, Germany sounds kind of nice. So, I went within Germany, trained up there, spent some time there, and I joined the army actually from Germany.
Wow.
And then went to Fort Knox, uh, graduated from there. Then went to Fort Sill, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Ain't nothing out there, nothing but
Still the
desert.
same.
Oh yeah. Then went to Airborne School in Fort Benning, and then go to old Fort Bragg, Vietnam.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then got out in 2013, February 15th. Forget that date.
Wow.
And then I went over to Fort Meade, where Pop was at, and ended up working with Lockheed Martin
Okay.
Security.
Yeah.
I was a captain up there at the Gaithersburg IS and GS site there for a little while, and ended up being a manager for Walmart for a bit. So
Wow.
yeah, not as extensive military career as
Yeah. No. I
Sergeant
mean,
Major here.
I'm sure there's very few of us out there that have a very
Uh,
distinguished career like yourself.
yeah,
Maybe I
I,
should have
I,
went
I,
first.
I don't know if Jeff mentioned it, but we're actually missing two.
Yes,
Oh,
My
yeah.
sir.
daughter, another airborne trooper, she served,
Arctic
um,
Warrior up in Anchorage, Alaska.
and and then my other junior, my other son, he was up in
Vicenza, Italy.
Vicenza, Italy, with the
Wow.
173rd. Yeah,
11 Charlie.
yep.
And
So
then he met me up in Bragg. Oh man, that was awesome.
Oh, your brother.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. He's like,
Wow.
hey man, I'm at the in processing station. Come pick me up. I was like, bro, I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Growing up, me and Tommy,
Yeah.
we were like that, man. So
What's the
having
age difference?
uh we're 11 months apart,
Oh, wow.
right? Right? For a month, him and I are the same age.
Yeah.
But I still make sure he remembers, hey, I'm the older one,
I'm the
brother.
oldest.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah, I came out first. Yeah. So yeah, no, it was a really happy time when Tommy said he was coming up to Bragg. So it was very very exciting for me.
Yeah, that's really cool. And so
Oh yeah.
where did you guys I see you shared the picture. Where was that picture taken at?
when all four of us took a picture, is the only one that we have. It was actually at Fifth Army. They had a military ball there in San Antonio, and
Hmm.
we were fortunate enough. All of us made it there, and we got that photo up.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
a rare photo.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
real photo. Yeah,
Yeah, we were stationed all
And
all
uniform.
around the world.
in uniform. So that was
Mhm.
good.
Yeah, yeah. That's that's a heck of a lineage. Did you have family that served? Parents or uncles or
No,
no?
that was the first one. Well, actually, I take that back. Uh, I mean, not too many folks in my family know, but my dad, he joined the National Guard.
Okay.
He was underage, but they only wanted him because of his boxing experience.
Wow.
And once they found out his age, because they weren't gonna send him anywhere. They just
Hmm.
wanted him to box for the army, for the guard. They're in San Antonio. But when they found out his age, of course, he got his discharge papers.
Wow.
But yeah,
That's
interesting.
that's very interesting. It's super unique too because I have it's like the hidden side of the military, right? Like
Yeah.
there is a very active sports community within the military. I mean, even with Paralympic games or boxing,
Oh
it's so.
yes.
I had a first sergeant that was a boxer. That guy was in shape, and you did not want to have him pin on your
Right.
rig, but of course he would.
Oh, yeah.
So that's very interesting. So you've got three kids that are they're all in the army,
All in the army
and yourself.
and myself.
Wow, that's
Well, I gave my daughter the option. I said, "Why
Mhm.
don't you join the Air Force?" She says, "I only know the Army."
mm,
And she, in
Mhm.
certain other words, she tried, she didn't want to join the Air Force or the Navy or the Marines. She stuck with what she knew. And, I respected that. But she didn't join until after we went to Germany. She stayed in Colorado Springs. A couple of months later, we received a phone call. My wife answered the call, and about 2 minutes later, she hands me the phone. Talk to your daughter. So what happened? And she says, "Hey, Dad, I joined the Army." I said, "Well, good for you." Well, my wife didn't like that very much.
Yeah.
But, we support all of them.
Wow. And so what year did she join? You said you were 10, 13. Yeah, no,
Oh,
sorry. It's just very unique to me because I mean my dad was a Marine in the 80s, and it's fun to see that crossover. So what base were you born at, Jeff?
I was born. My wife gonna laugh at this. I was born in Fort Campbell, Tennessee.
Uh-huh.
Everybody was born in San Antonio,
Yeah.
but me.
Not
Wow.
Right?
No,
No.
Jason was born.
Oh, Germany. Sorry, Jason, my little brother.
Oh yeah, that's right. The 12-year-old, right?
Yeah, but it's actually Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
Okay.
But because the hospital is on the Tennessee side,
Oh wow.
because the state line
Mhm. Runs through the base.
right through the middle of the base. Yeah,
Yep, birth certificate says Tennessee. I've been saying Kentucky all my life.
that's
Yeah.
okay. That's all right.
I was born somewhere. I know it was on Fort Campbell.
So you grew up most of your life knowing the military then?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, right? I
Yep.
mean, yeah. So that's very interesting to me too, because I can only imagine, my dad wasn't in, but I definitely got a lot of those traits because of his service.
Oh yeah.
So what was that like?
There it is.
Seeing your sergeant major, seeing your dad be a sergeant major, be your first sergeant.
Yeah. So it was normal because when we were, growing up, Dad had, we seen him as an NCO sergeant. We didn't really know the difference, right?
Mhm.
So all we knew is that Dad was always yelling at folks, right? His favorite of all was dying cockroach. I know it's because we never got grounded. We never, go to your room or whatever. We said, "Hey, front lean rest position, living room, go," right? Dying cockroach till I get tired. Yes, Dad. Yeah. So it was very
I
it's
gotta remember that one.
it's what we knew.
Yeah.
It's what we knew, and it was nice going to work with Pop because I remember exclusively in Germany. We went and we hid. Dad had this mountain of just gear, cots, just a mountain of cots inside his cage. And me and I think it was either Tommy or Mark, my other brother. We would go and hide up there. We playing stuff. We saw these two soldiers come in. They were getting these little slips signed. I'm guessing for leave, right? And we were watching, because we love watching Dad work, right? So Poppy's like, he was discussing stuff with them. Then he looked at them, and my dad's face went red, like red. We're like, "Oh, I know what that means. I know what that means." He's like, he gives it back to him. He's like, "What color ink is that?" He's like, "Blue, Sergeant."
Oh yes.
"What color ink pen do we use here in the Army?" Like, front lean rest position. They got in front lean rest position, not in front of my desk, outside the cage until I get tired.
Oh.
Oh man, it was great. It was
Hey
great.
man, you gotta set a standards.
Yeah, it was like, but I was like, "I feel your pain, buddy. I feel your pain."
You're not the only ones.
You get them 8 to 12 hours out the day. Yeah. So yeah, it was definitely. I mean, I can't really compare it to anything else.
Right.
Right? So,
Yeah, because you don't know anything else.
Right.
That's just. I mean, that's interesting.
Just being around that smell. You go in the barracks, it's got that smell. You go in the warehouse, you got the smell. You go in the motor pool. I loved driving by the 30 ACR in Fort Carson, had all the Bradleys, all the M1A1s, and oh man, it was normal driving through. Pop's picking us up, and we see all those vehicles just lined up as far as you could see, and you don't appreciate it until, again, when we got out the Army, you're like, this is different, right? It was absolutely different because we go from that we joined the army, and then boom, you're out civilian world.
Wow.
And for us, it's definitely a shell
So
shock.
it's not only a shock for you, but for your entire family.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
military. We're a military family,
Yeah.
even now.
Hmm.
We lived. We're very close. So I'm going to tell you a real quick story, because to me it showed me the true colors of my children. I mean, right? I mean, couldn't say it anymore. When I retired, just before I retired, I got multiple calls at different times. Months before, months after, from each of my kids, and they were asking, hey, pops, when are you going to retire? When I get to it. And when I did retire, everything fell in place. I got an offer. I wasn't planning on it. I had an assignment already laid on for Hawaii. My wife she wasn't happy at all about it. So I retired, and we went to Katy, Texas. And within 90 days, my son shows up looking like the Beverly Hillbillies up in front. Okay. About 3 or 4 months later, my daughter shows up. She drove from Alaska down here.
Wow.
Took her just over 2 weeks to drive. And we were there for about 2 years there in Katy, 2.5, before we moved to Spring. And when we got to Spring, within a couple of years, Jeff bought the house behind me. My daughter bought a house 2 streets over. My other son, Tommy, he bought a house 5 minutes down the street.
Same neighborhood.
Wow.
Same neighborhood. My son, Mark, he's fixing to get married. And I'm waiting to see what he does.
Mhm.
He's going to be a newlywed.
Wow.
And we'll see what my youngest does. But it was, I guess it was kudos to, more so to my wife. She was there
Right.
more than I was,
Mhm.
that they wanted to be around. Most of my family, they just want to disperse. The kids, they want to go their own way. But for a parent, it feels pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a dream of ours, man.
Yeah.
It was a dream of ours. Like, Pop, when you set up the flag, when you set up HQ, you let us know. We'll rally up. We'll rally up.
Yeah.
So
if I'm counting correctly, you have 5?
5.
5 kids. And so within a matter of months, you guys were all together again.
Yeah.
After being apart.
Yeah, that was the craziest thing, because as soon as they moved, I got a call from a store manager in Houston, Walmart. I was a manager, and he's like, hey, there's a store manager calling, different markets trying to find, a good grocery, manager. And I said, where is it again? They said it's in Houston. Pop's in Katy. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Sign me up. Pop, I'm on my way. I'll be there in 2 weeks.
I think that's that, first of all, that's an amazing story. It really is. That's so cool. And I really feel like it's one of those things that you manifest, right? You have to talk about it. You have to be open to the opportunities. You have to be willing to move. And for all your family to come down, like you said, I can feel the love. Like that's a very humbling thing. Hey man, I want to be around my pops. I want to be around my family. And then all the kids just kind of start showing up, okay, well,
Oh yeah.
this is what we do now.
We have a quote. It's Dad saying, "Family's always strongest together," right? And on his retirement flag, I got it on the bottom because he always told us that our family is strongest when we're together, right? So I got the quotations at the bottom because that's what we've lived by. And honestly, I don't know, I don't know where we would be if
Right.
if we weren't together. I mean,
I'm sure there was a time where you guys were apart. And it's
plenty of
different,
time, plenty of time. I mean, like Pop said, Dad Sis was in Alaska, got Tommy in Italy, and we were just spread all
Mhm.
throughout the world, and it was rare that whenever Janice would go see Mom and Pop, we'd be in field op or something like that. Like, we had to time it perfectly, And you know, it was a rare thing. And when we got together, oh man, we burned down the house. It was awesome. You know, it was awesome to get us all back together. You know, and now that we're here, we're centralized. It's just still, I think it's a little surreal because when you think back of what it was, you know, it's just like, man, how fortunate are we?
Right.
You know, so it's a great thing.
That is a great thing, it's funny. I know for me, I always feel like my dad says the same thing, you know, and he always wanted his family close. And I told you guys we're actually all pretty close to him. My parents, we don't live too far from them, so that's really cool, man. That's
Oh, yeah.
fantastic. So tell us about Lone Star Warrior Outpost. Where did this come from, and what is it?
Roger. So I'm actually going to start with my brother-in-law Angel. Okay, he came to me and Tommy and said, "Hey, you know, my cousin has a softball team over here in the in at Collins Park. They play every Sunday. It's a lot of fun. You guys can come out." And me and Tommy was like, "You know what? Sure. You know, we ain't doing. You know, it'll be like a guys thing." And it turned into a guys thing for a while, right? We went out this team called Los Sox, and you know, we played, and it was, you know, well, we didn't play. These guys were like D1A1 athletes and stuff. They were in the top tier and all that. So, you know, I enjoyed watching Tommy play catcher. You know, Tommy went a lot more than I did, and it was fun. You know, it was fun. We were able to see, you know, it's like, man, this is
Yeah.
cool. You know, to kind of be part of a team again, right?
What year is this?
This was the beginning of 2021. It was the end of 2020s.
Mhm.
It's beginning of 21.
Yeah, yeah, the beginning of 21. Yep. Yep. And you know, so we started going more and more, and me and Tommy were like, you know what, bro? We should start our own team. Yeah, man, let's do it, bro. Let's do it, you know. And we started to, you know, try to, you know, recruit some players and stuff like that. And then we're like, you know what? We should just do veterans.
Mhm.
Heck yeah, man, let's do it. You know, so you know, we get my brother Mark involved. You're like, yeah, this will be a great thing. And then you know, after talking to some folks there at the park and everything, well, let me get to this to where it actually got real. I get a call from a buddy of mine, Nigel Inseong. I knew him when I was at Fort Bragg, 108th Brigade. They're telling Fourth Air Defense Artillery Regiment Echo Battery. You know, that's a mouthful. Sorry, I just kind of rolled out.
Yeah.
And he called me and he's like, "Hey man, I got some news for you." I was like, "What's up, brother?" You know, it's like, "Hey, Sergeant Rajo, man, he's you know, he's no longer with us." And man, that hit, and I'll tell you why. Uh, when I went to airborne school, right, I broke my leg, right. Completely shattered my ankle. You know, tried walking on it, duct taping it. Man, it just wasn't happening. So when I got to Fort Bragg, you know, I was the broke guy that didn't get there with his airborne wings, and I was you know, Mr. 300 in AIT. So you know, it was rough.
Mhm.
You know, it was rough. You know, and Sergeant Araujo said, you know, he approached me. He's like, "Hey, look, Gonzo, don't worry about it. Anybody else, you worry about you. You get better." Right? I should have listened to him. You know, everybody would go on the commander's run. I'd want to go on the commander's run because I had something to prove, was because I was a son of a sergeant major, you know. So you know, he was the one that cared, right? When I first got there, you know. And he helped so many different soldiers there, more so than me, right? Um, and then, you know, he just kind of stuck with me, right? So when I heard that, I was like, you know, I got to do something. I have to. We have to. It's our mission. And I called Pop. I was like, "Pop, man, um, you know, we need to start something. You know, we need to do something." He's like, "You know, get the nonprofit rolling." I
Mhm.
was like, "All right." I spent a lot of time with Pop, you know, thinking of ideas, you know, designs, what our mission was going to be, you know, kind of what we're going to do. And it's like, you know what? Softball. Warthogs, right? A-10 Warthog, right? That was music to our soldiers' ears with the boots on the grounds, right? So you
Yeah.
know what? Let's start with that. And honestly, that's all she wrote. You know, people started to see who we were, you know, playing and everything, and they're like, "Hey, you know, what are you guys all veterans? Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. You know, can I play?" I was like, "Yeah, man." So I started doing a lot of it out of my own pocket, at first, because these guys, they wanted to play, but they couldn't afford it. Right. It's like, man, don't worry about it. I got you, bro.
Mhm.
I got you, but I can't do it all. I couldn't pay for everybody all the time, so it could get very pricey very quickly,
Oh yeah.
you know. So, you know, um, to make a very long story short, Hector, I know y'all know Hector, right?
I think I've heard that name
Yeah,
before.
yeah, a little bit. I reached out to him, man, and he got me hooked up with a guy that had faith in us. He's like, hey, man, I believe in what you're doing, and I'm going to give this a shot. And he did, and to this day, he supports us. He supports the Warhawks, supports the whole organization, and he helped us get to where we are now. Now we have 4 softball teams. We have 2 veteran teams, one of them being co-ed, led by Coach Rowdy, and then Janice. Janice, she's the coach for the veteran co-ed team and their families. We have Mr. Pete and Brian. They're the coaches for the law enforcement team. Double tap, and then we just started up our smoke breathers, all firefighters softball team. So we're really excited about that. You
Wow.
know,
So within a matter of a year, you guys have 4 teams now,
Yeah.
basically.
yeah.
Hey, what's an average like? Do they practice on the weeks, or do they just kind of get together and we just wing it?
Yeah, this is a weekly thing.
Okay.
Actually, twice a week. Actually, because during the middle of the week, you deal with all the struggles of work, and then he's like, "Hey, Thursday we got to practice at 6:30. If you want to come, smash a softball, let's go. And guys will go out and have a good old time for a few hours, and then we'll rally back up on Sunday evenings and play in that SKSA league. You know,
Wow.
you know they love it.
Yeah. Do you
You
two
know?
play? Do you play?
I played once. I have a perfect record.
Yes, he does. He's batting a 1,000. We were short. We were so short players, right? You're like, man, who else has a jersey? Like, we need one more. Everybody saw and turned, saw Sergeant Major, like Sergeant Major, come on, play catcher. He went out and played catcher. He did an awesome job. He went up to bat. He went right down second base, right back up, and he got on base. Man, everybody went crazy. Nobody cared if we won. Sergeant Major got on base. It was awesome. It
was the trip getting there. That
Yeah.
was the challenge.
Oh, he was tripping the whole way over there. It was awesome, though. It was great. Sharing the field with Pop, man. That was something else there. That was awesome.
Share uniforms
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. See, Pop so when we were in Fort Carson, he actually played slow pitch with the unit during an org day.
Oh yeah.
That was the last time he played. And I'll tell you why that was the last time he played. Because one of the guys that was running from third to home, he was catcher.
He was an MP.
It was MP. He was wearing metal cleats.
Oh man.
Right. So Pop, you were first sergeant, right?
Yeah.
Your first sergeant, he was sitting in front of the home plate. The guy shortstop threw him the ball. This MP just decided, hey, I'm gonna jump over this guy. I'm gonna jump over first sergeant. Jumped over. Pop went to tag him, clipped his head,
Wow.
right, and he flips. And Pop goes down, and everybody's down. Pop gets up. I'm good. Blood just starts flowing down his face. He's like, yeah, I ain't playing no more, guys.
That's it. That was my last hurrah.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, those are probably some of the best days I had because I was with the troopers.
Mm.
It's one thing to stand back and watch everybody, right, and cheer them on, but it's another thing when you're with them, doing everything with them, and that's what I was accustomed to. Until I got my block knocked off that
day. Yeah, those org days were something else, man.
Yeah,
those were a lot of fun.
So, and if you're watching and you don't know what an org day is, it's it's organization day. It's a day where a family gets together. You bring in your family. Usually there's barbecue, right? Somebody's barbecuing. There's always games to play. There's cold drinks, and it's about building that community because that's the one thing I know when I was in that just was the best is how do we build unit cohesion, and that's everywhere. That's across all businesses, but especially in the military.
Oh yeah.
It builds that trust
Esprit de corps.
Esprit de corps. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably some of the best memories that we've had. I know some folks will probably know this name, but Iron Horse Park in Fort Carson. Iron Horse Park. Pop would always have, the regimental days there, right?
Mhm.
We just had our org day this past April to celebrate our 1 year. So that's kind of
That's
where
cool.
this is coming from, right? So it was cool because we were able to get involved, right? I was still a big guy then, so I would get in the tug of war. I'd play in the flag football, the horseshoe, man, all sorts of events, and then at the end, all the troopers would get around in the units, most Mule Skinner, Saber, Longbow, like they were all there. And then there was an award assembly for first place in tug of war or whatever, and it was great because like the camaraderie, like it was something that I've never experienced before, and I used to love it. You want a burger? There's 3 big old pits over there and a bunch of sweaty guys, trying to serve you some burgers, man. It was awesome. Like it was something that I always look forward to. It was like, hey, we're going on the barbecue. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Let me get my tennis shoes on, it was great, man. It was great. So we had our own org day this past April. And we had food. We didn't have all that, baby steps. We had some flag football. It was awesome. We had a dunk tank. that was awesome. We had our cornhole and we had a DJ and all that fun stuff, man. And we're just trying to bring that back.
Right.
We miss it. It was incredible, and it brought everybody closer. Guys that haven't seen each other for years. It was awesome. There's a Marine part of our group, and he's like, hey, hey man, what's going on? I haven't seen you since. He's gonna get mad at me because I can't remember where he was stationed. It was somewhere in Japan, but he's like, hey, what's going on, man? He's lived 30 minutes from him this whole time and didn't know it.
Yeah.
So we were able to connect those guys, man, and I knew we were onto something because 2 guys approached me after practice one day, and he's like, hey Jeff, man, we got to talk to you. I was like, what's up, man? He's like, look, we just want to say thank you. This has really, really saved us. And when he said that, man, like I couldn't. Lately, I've been like with this, I've been real emotional because what we're doing is helping. What we're doing is truly changing somebody's life. And I didn't know how big this was until those guys, in tears, literally telling me, Jeff, man, this is what we needed. This is what we needed. We needed somebody to just, hey, just come together, man. They needed that outlet,
Right.
and they have it, man. So
What do you think's the biggest value that somebody gets from joining a softball team?
A softball team.
Oh, so, what's the biggest value between being around the community again? As a veteran.
As a veteran,
What's the point? Like,
well, it
what
depends
would
on
they
who I'm
get?
talking to. I mean, if I'm talking to veterans,
Mhm.
Everyone there, they addressed me as Sergeant Major, and
By choice, right?
pretty much. And
Well,
but,
no, I mean,
they listen. All
yeah.
the players, they're
I-
we
I also feel like what I miss about that is the guidance.
yes,
Having
and
someone that I can go to that has been through that. So that's kind of how I see it now. Like, hey, you know what? That would be for me a memory that's unlocked. Like, hey, you know what? I can go to this sergeant major and he'll let me know if I'm fucking up, or he'll let me know if I'm doing right. Yeah.
and I do the same thing now.
Yep, he's had those.
Yeah, I've had. Everyone needs to come to Jesus every once in a while. Everyone.
Yes, sir.
And softball. Wow. One would never think. But the one thing that every branch of service has in common, actually too, is fitness and just being a part of some type of sport, right? And so when we started the softball, it actually it garnered a lot of attention with the veterans. And it was a way that they could bring their family, include them in something that they wanted to do.
Right.
And for the spouses to get together afterwards, just kind of like an org day. You can't beat that. You can't beat talking the same language to someone one day a week, maybe twice, before you have to go back to your regular life.
Yeah.
Whether you serve 2 years, 4 years, 30 years, right? You walk away with a language that you learned, and it will never go away with memories, right? And when you get out, like for me, it was a culture shock getting out. And between the kids and my wife, they helped me through it. But now I see those veterans, those same veterans coming out from different backgrounds, but they were just like me getting out. No difference. Bringing them together, letting them play together, releases so much, and it helps them so much from PTSD. I mean, there's been a couple of kids that they were on the brink.
Yep.
Okay, they were on that line, but give them a reason. Give them a reason to go to work on Monday. This past week, it's gone. It's something to look forward to.
Right.
And so that's what we're doing. We're giving back to the veterans, in turn giving back to the community, because we want our veterans to be positive role models. We, as part of LSWO, we have, they're not rules, it's a code of conduct. Every branch has a code of conduct, right? And in this code of conduct, and as Jeff passed out these flyers, I'm looking at everyone in their eye, That's the best way for you to get someone's attention. And I read through them and I told them, look, these are nothing new to anybody. What we're trying to do is get the best out of you. Be a positive role model for those kids watching you play, someone else that maybe wants to join the military, because if you can gain that trust and that mentality, right? And that positive attitude, that spreads like wildfire. It'll spread to the next veteran that's having a problem. And then they're going to come, or they're going to want to do something else. Mm-hmm. Point is, it's making the community better. It's making those individuals better, and it's giving back, giving back. Because Houston has a really large veteran community. I never realized how big it was.
And I can echo that, because I didn't realize how big of a community it was, because I was thinking to San Antonio as well. And everybody knows, if you don't know, San Antonio is Military City, USA.
That's right.
They had like 5 bases there, very, very veteran heavy. Like you said, there's huge, it's bigger than what you think. But here in Houston, I don't think Houston's seen that way. Although we are, it's just, there's a lot of us.
Oh yeah.
And Houston is so big, you don't realize how huge it is. You guys are coming from Spring. We live down here in Pearland, and if you're not aware, that's at least an hour. Depending
on traffic. That's
right.
Yeah,
depending on traffic,
for sure.
But no matter what you do, if there's no traffic, it's an hour drive.
Oh yeah.
And I love hearing more about what there is for the veteran to get involved with, because here at Charlie Mike, I know Raul feels the same way. It's and we've said this to you, putting someone in front of the veteran to let them know, hey, there's a lot of ways you can get involved, and you've got the best skills. You were trained that way. Come be part of us again. Let us show you what an excellent veteran is.
The best part about it, for any veteran that comes, right? Because this was our goal. And I told Jeff this. Our goal when we started was that veterans are not going to pay for anything. They're going to come, they're going to have a good time with their families. And, we're going to keep that going. And I'm proud to say that we're at that point now where our veterans come in. They don't have to pay a cent. We just ask them that, they sign the code of conduct and they abide by it. Because you've been to sports events.
Yeah.
People get crazy at the
Yes.
sports events. They go after the umpire. They have choice words that they want, that they talk smack on the field. I get it. Talking smack's okay, but there's a limit. There's a limit to that. That comes along with being a good sportsman. So it's good to see them. And best part is they're from all branches. We've got Army, Navy, we got Air Force, we got some crazy Marines, you know, and
Yeah, there's a few of those.
Yeah.
yeah, but you know what? At the end of the day,
Yeah, there's a
they're best buddies.
guy. You guys know Terry Chung? Everybody knows Terry.
Oh yeah, I
right?
know Terry. What's going on, Terry? I just saw that guy at American Legion.
Yeah, I remember I met him for the first time a year ago, and he was like, "If you'll see me once, and now you'll see me 3 times, and then you'll see me everywhere."
Right.
And it's true. Yeah,
Nice. Huh.
small world.
Oh, cool. Okay, you can see all of them popping up.
Yeah,
and
everyone.
stuff.
Yeah, so
Good
we
deal.
do have a live ticker. Folks will give us a comments. Marcelo, May, we miss you, man. Hope Austin's treating you well.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
lots of good on there.
So while we have a quick pause, let me let everybody know that tonight's episode is brought to you by Patriot Knife Coffee Company. You can visit them at www.patriotknifecoffee.us. Don't forget to use the promo code Charlie Mike and let Tree know we sent you.
Tree's a cool guy.
Oh yeah,
I like Tree. He sent me a picture of this coffee thing. He's like, "Hey man, I'm going to do something for you." I was like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah, Tree can't
You
help
know,
it.
a few weeks ago, go by and he sends me a picture of one of his coffees. It's an A10 Warhol.
Oh, yeah.
Burn. I'm like, dude, you are awesome, man. It's so cool. So cool.
You know what I love too about LWSO is you also have law enforcement and firefighter teams.
Correct.
You know, I
You're
think
right.
there's a lot of similarities.
There is, and that's something. once we established both teams, we
Right.
started with an all male team, then we went to the co-ed team, and we waited a little bit, but a little bit to us is like 6 months. Because Jeff was like a bulldog. He really was. He wanted to do everything all at once.
I wanted everything.
So
Yeah,
I'm that
strategic,
strategic,
long-term thinking.
long term. Yeah, you got.
I'm telling you, without this guy,
When you're building something, you got to get the building blocks first,
Yeah.
right? So after that short period, we started looking. First responders, firefighters, police officers, they put their lives on the line every day. Those police officers put that body armor on every day. A lot of people that haven't joined the military, never served, or never done that type of work. It's hard to understand the weight. There is no comfort level
Right.
with any of that equipment on, right? And to run and chase down the bad guys, just do what they do. Same thing with firefighters. Someone's house is burning, you depend on them to show up. These guys are going to show up. They're going to unroll that hose. They're going to march in there, save whoever's in there, and try and stop the house from burning.
Right.
That's putting your life on the line. When every time I deployed, I had the same equipment. I had body armor. My only difference was I had my rifle. Police officers have better rifles. And so I told Jeff, we need to include them because they face a lot of the same issues,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's PTSD, stress at the house. Let's give them a place to go. So, get some camaraderie going.
Right.
Right. And before you know it, we have a double tap. Great. These guys have such a great attitude.
these guys are awesome, man.
It doesn't matter if they win or lose.
Yeah.
They just go to have fun, to be with their buddies for short times. And I think now some of them are starting to bring their families. And some of them actually served as well. So that's great. And here recently, the latest addition was the firefighters.
Smoke breathers.
Smoke breathers.
Hey, remember, just so you know, when we have the teams, he's like, hey, this is y'all's team. Y'all get to choose the name. Y'all get to do the design of the jerseys, all that. So we give that to them because it's ownership, right? They feel a lot of pride because it's theirs.
Right.
So they were giving me all sorts of names. I was like, look, maybe it's a firefighter thing. I don't know. So they ended up dealing with the smoke breathers.
Right.
So,
but we're still in the building blocks.
Right.
Yeah.
Even with 4 teams, we're doing good, and the players don't have to pay. They just the commitment that we ask them is, just show up, play, and have fun.
So what are some of the code of conduct or the rules that you guys have that you put out there?
Sure.
Their actions, language.
Language.
Yeah.
Oh man, no, I'm out.
Well, okay. So look. So
No, I know.
you're on the battle. You're out there playing.
Yeah.
Yes, it slips. Yes, you get competitive. Yes, things are going to get heated sometimes. Okay, but at the end of it, you still need to maintain that discipline at the end of the day. Why? Because there's kids out there. My niece is out there, right? And I don't want this guy every other word being, being the F-bomb and stuff. Be aware of your surroundings when you're out there in the field, because it's a family field. It's a church league,
Right.
Cool. So you need to be cognizant of that. Okay. Now, if I understand things happen. I get it. Believe me, I'm super competitive myself, which is kind of why I had to back away from the Warthogs a little bit, because that's not going to be good. Hey, President LSWO is beating up a guy for, but yeah, we just ask that they treat each other with respect, right? You're aware of those around you, right? And you just go out and at the end of it, pop that at the end of it, have fun.
Yeah,
because that's really what it's all about. We're some guys might be like, yeah, we are, but we're not here to win a bunch of championships or get first place in the league. Every time. This is just a outlet for these guys. I know Rowdy and a few other guys are like, yeah, we're there to win, guy. But
yeah, I think that's that goes right along with the military. We grow with competition,
Right.
and if we're not first or last, but it's because we all say that. But it's funny because we all want to win, which is a great mindset. You want to win.
Guess our record. Guess our record the first season. We have 12 games.
You have 12 games.
Mhm.
I'm going to guess 6-6.
0-12.
0-12.
0-12. That was our first season. And let me tell you something, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You lose, but it was fun just being out there.
Yeah, it's also a great mentality, right? I mean, you learn something through losing.
Mm.
You learn a lot through losing.
Oh, yeah. But they started to win. They started to win a lot.
Mr. Matt Morris says, we did win the championship, Jeff.
That's true. That's true. We did bring home a trophy.
Yep. Sure did.
Like a tournament or?
Yeah, it was a
season is 8 weeks.
Okay.
And the last season, the Warthogs won. They took first place.
Oh yeah, that was cool. The Warthogs took first in their division. Double tap because they're in the A bracket. They won in their division, and our co-ed team got first place in their division on Monday night. So it was really cool. That was a really cool season. I was super excited for that. Yeah, that was.
And so most of you are folks that coming from the Spring area.
Some actually travel.
So the initial target, right? Because we're like, man, there's we don't want these guys to travel too far. Was Spring, Woodlands, and Conroe.
Okay.
Right. Obviously, guys found out about us way down. We had some guys traveling in excess of an hour to play. Wow. Right? Because they love it. Yeah. Some still do. Right? It's like, man, he's like, man, I traveled an hour and a half and I loved every second of it. Mm. Because I knew I was going to play on the field today. I was like, man, that's awesome, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for that. Just I don't know, man. It's a different feeling when you're around them and you walk in the dugout and you see all these guys gearing up. They're wrapping their wrists, or it's like, man, look who we brought together, man. These guys are going to each other's houses having barbecue. Like, we brought these guys together, and they're brothers, mm-hmm. brothers and sisters, and it's still surreal to me,
Yeah, and one of the first lines of our code of conduct. Don't forget you're a veteran.
Yep.
Don't forget your country and everyone around you. Because we want everyone to remember. Don't forget you're a veteran. You served.
Yeah.
And there's some that they get out and they feel no one's looking out for them. Well, we are. And that's why we put that there. And don't forget you're a veteran, and we will support and defend our country still, different ways maybe.
Yeah.
Yep, they shouldn't feel like nobody cares, because they do. We care
yeah.
very much. You know, that's why we're doing what we're doing. So if they're watching and they think nobody cares, we care
Yeah.
about you. This guy cares about you. Raul back there cares about
That's
you.
right. You're absolutely right. We do care, and you do matter. And you bring up a great point, Sergeant Major, that veterans, we tend to forget to self-identify. You know, we talk about that. We're part of the Houston Veterans Chamber of Commerce. They talk about that a lot. Veteran business owners do not want to say that they're a veteran business owner because they feel like they're getting a hand up, but it has nothing to do with that. Veterans are we're just different. We talked about it. We're special.
Yeah.
We have our own language.
Yep.
We have a common bond, and we have to be mission driven.
Oh, yeah.
We're taught that. You change when you join. As soon as you join, you sign that dotted line, there's something that just changes. Then you go to basic training and everything changes.
Oh yeah.
You know, could you tell me what is one of the most valuable skills that the military taught you?
Valuable skills.
Skills, characteristics. Because for me, I always go back to discipline. And I have to remind myself that I have more discipline than I give myself. I need to get my butt up and go work out because I feel better when I do. And if I don't wake up late, it's okay. You still go outside or you go do something, you know, because if I don't remind myself about that discipline, I'll get lazy.
Yeah. I know all about being lazy. My wife will agree with that. I would have to say it's a three part, and some old school troopers will remember. I am task, conditions, and standard driven. Okay, I need the task. Even the folks that work for me, I'll do them a task.
Right.
I'll do them the conditions, and this is how I want it done. You know, to me, if you have those three, you can get anything done.
Mm-hmm.
But without that small, simple structure, how do you want it? Where's it? So for me, picking that up and in a curveball sort of way, that's how I taught kids. Even growing up, I put things on a butcher block one time for them so they could understand. They like pictures. I was horrible at drawing pictures. But task, conditions, and standards, and even now, I mean, that's what we do everything. We don't call it task, conditions, standards. We'll give it a different name, but it's the same thing. And that's pretty much what we're giving everyone. The challenge per se.
Yeah. What about you, Jeff? What do you think is different between, before you joined the military and then after?
Well, I feel like I've been training for the military all my life. Growing up, I was always given specifics, tasks and stuff. And honestly, during the Army, I was able to implement, those things Pop had taught us. And man, it paid off. It paid off in basic. I was, I was PG for quite a while until they needed to switch me out. So they got me on. One of my guys, Ladrick, forgot his earplugs during white phase, and they Gonzo, you're fired. But I went to AIT, and normally a student first sergeant will last a few weeks, right? But they got me in there, and the way that I was conducting myself, honestly, it was just kind of really normal to me. Leading these guys, giving them specific directions, tasks, following up, and stuff like that, because that's what student first sergeant does. Making sure all your guys are scored away. Is there water in your Camelback? How old is that water in your Camelback? Oh yeah, you just filled it. Try it, man. And it's doing all that, and I didn't make a lot of friends in AIT. They're like, man, this guy comes out of basic thinking he runs. No, I mean, that's just what I was just doing what Pop told me to do. If you're going to lead, he told me there are two different types of respects, and I'll never forget there's two different types of respects in the military: respect for the rank, respect for the individual.
Mm-hmm.
You accomplish both, you'll be successful. He said, give your first 2 years of your life to the military. Give them your all. And always remember those two types of respects, man. So there's a lot more that goes into that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was great. It was great. I ended up being the student first all the way up until I graduated. You know, the weirdest part was being a PV2, and I would see a specialist rank, and I would have Pop always told us about rank growing up, and you were the ones following up with him, making sure that they're in formation on time, or they got the right color PT belt on, or whatever. So you know, as far as learning, man, I really zeroed in on those leadership skills, being able to coach, teach, and mentor. When I got to Fort Bragg, I didn't have my wings, so
Mhm.
I was on. I know a lot of folks know the jump details, shoot detail, right? And because I was on, okay, you'll hear of guys saying, "Hey, I got 63 jumps, I got 65 jumps." Echo Battery, I think, probably had the most out of the entire regiment, but um, I had 63 shoot details, right? I had 63 shoot details, and they would send a staff sergeant to come see me on what we're doing. Hey, we got a mass tech with 82nd, go see Gonzo,
Yeah.
and Gonzo is a little PFC over here driving one truck because we knew where pickup was. We went to Green Ramp, knew where the sites were.
Yeah.
And that kind of forced me to, okay, kind of organize, the mass tech. I think the most trucks we had 22 trucks just filled with shoots, and who's a point of contact. Gonzo. It's like, this staff sergeant calling a point of man, I'm a private man. What you talking about, sergeant? But it forced me to take that role. So
Wow.
it was
Yeah. And if you don't know what we're talking about for you legs out there, shoot detail is once the parachutes come out, we wrap them up, we'll throw them out on the truck, and then most of us, especially if you've got some ranking, if you got some wings, we'll go back to the cob, right, to our company area. But the privates or those who don't have any wings go and shake out the chutes, and it's hard work. Someone's got to do it, right?
Yep.
I mean, every job, everything that has to get done in the army has to get done by somebody that's in the army.
Yep.
So usually
Yep.
you're assigned to this. But I love hearing that you can take this, what you can see as a curse or as a burden, right? To what, I learned a lot from that, and it made me a lot more humble to say, you know what, I can actually help with this.
Right.
I can do good with this.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool. So let me ask, how can someone get in touch with you with the Lone Star Warrior Outpost?
So our website, which has a mailing link, www.lswo.us. You go there, there's a mailing, or you can email us directly. It's info@lswo.vet. That's .vet, VET. Or myself, jeff.g@lswo.vet. And if you have questions, comments, or concerns, or anything like that, feedback, shoot us an email.
Y'all have any upcoming events?
So actually, I kind of don't want to say too much because we have a board meeting tomorrow.
Okay.
And I don't want, he's already giving me that look because I have about 5 different things that I want to do.
Okay.
And we haven't had the board meeting yet. But
I don't like surprises.
No, he doesn't. That's why if I tell him now, it's going to be a long ride back home.
But no need for the meeting tomorrow.
Yeah, but one thing specifically he does know about, so I feel pretty safe saying it. We just recruited our Sean. He is going to be our ruck coach. So we are going to be establishing a ruck. You knew that, right? No, okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. A ruck team.
A ruck team.
A ruck team, correct.
Like throw on some weight and go walking?
Absolutely.
Like for fun?
For fun, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sean just got back from a 31 miler in Washington, D.C. I was like, did they pay you for that?
I'm like, no,
He's like, nah, man, I just love it. He said there's
Yeah.
just something about it. You just go and on the softball field, you play against each other, but when you're rucking, somebody's struggling and you got blisters, you
Yeah.
guys are helping each other, and I was like, man, you're absolutely right. So he had a great idea. We're working with American Legion right now about to do something with the food drive,
Oh yeah, what post is that? Let me kind of wonder.
Hector will drop kick me if I forget the American Legion 654, and guys are gonna go and they're gonna have all the canned goods and stuff, load those in their rucks, and they're gonna ruck it to some place that Sean will
Wow,
will let me know.
man, that's
So,
pretty neat, man. That's really cool.
oh man, it's gonna be great. We're gonna have
That's
flags
cool.
and everything, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be a really good deal.
Yeah.
Now, I keep seeing these comments. These comments are hilarious. My brother Tommy, he's like, y'all have the best director. He's our softball director.
Oh, all right.
So my pop told me, hey, you can't do it all. Okay, you have a team, utilize your team. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get a softball director. Hey Tommy, you want to? Yeah, man, I'll do it. Cool. So he kind of keeps that while I go out and I network and talk to folks and did different companies for sponsorships and all that, because that is a lot of work. One team was a lot of work, so I had to step away from being coach from Warthogs and got another coach in there, and I forced my sister to be the coach for our co-ed team, and got voluntold.
Another family in there.
Finally admitted.
There's something about this
Gonzalez
mic.
is on here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Mark Gonzalez says, "Hey, it's me."
Yeah, that's my other brother. He's a wind turbine commissioner, and then he got done with that, and now he's about to get married. He's trying to settle down and
I
stuff.
keep telling him being married is a full-time job. He doesn't believe me.
Oh yeah, you got to do right.
Oh yeah. So we kind of do everything, together when we do 110%. Like the Cub Scouts Pack 355, we did that for 5 years, and it was just us. We ran it. Me and Tommy, we were the den leaders for these boys. Pop was the Cub master, and my mom was the treasurer, or she was the treasurer / secretary / committee chair, So we ran that bad boy for a while. We retired this year.
It's giving, well, going into Boy Scouts now, but it's giving back.
Yeah.
And being role models for those boys, plus it helps them with the audience.
Mm-hmm.
It was a rough start for them, but after a while, you understand your audience, 5, 6, 7-year-olds, as we grow up. So
you should have seen my brother Tommy. So Tommy's fresh out the army, right? 11 Charlie. He's got these boys standing at the position of attention, telling them how to run the flag. He's like, "What did I giving them the knife hand and everything?" He's like, "Tommy, relax. They're just boys, bro." He's like, but he keeps swaying, bro. That's because he's like 6. Oh, that was great. Love you, bro. Sorry.
Yeah. Mark says you guys look funny.
Yeah, I know.
Well, this has been pretty awesome. Before we wrap up, any last minute things? What do you got to say?
Yeah. So to all the veterans in our area, I want them to know there's a lot of organizations that'll help you, regardless of what you're going through. Okay. Don't ever think no one wants to talk to you. If you're in the Spring area, I'll tell you what, this sergeant major, for one, will hear you out. No veteran should ever be alone, and never be afraid to say that you're a veteran, because I sure as hell am damn proud to say I'm a veteran. Okay, I served, I deployed, I bit that dirt in Iraq, just like a lot of folks. My daughter was in Afghanistan, but we are here, even if it's to listen, to sit down somewhere, doesn't matter. Like I said, there's a lot of organizations, but if you're in the Spring area, come down and see us, even if it's just a chat. That's what it's about. That's why it's a brotherhood.
I got goosebumps, bro. That's so powerful stuff.
Yeah. Don't look at me. I'm not gonna follow that up.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'll do my best. Charlie Mike Nation, I really appreciate it. Go ahead and hop in. Oh, yes. Which softball leads us straight into the Pearland Little League, which you guys are here in now. They actually made it to the Little League World Series.
Oh yeah.
So we want to give a shout out to you, fine
Really?
gentlemen.
Oh,
we really
yeah.
appreciate it. Bring Texas some love. Leave it all out on the field because softball baseball is still America's pastime,
It is.
right? Am I right?
Oh yeah.
It is.
I love going to Astros games. I love watching them. It's one of the things that we do as a family. Well, our group chat will just blow up because we'll all be talking good or talking bad about what, what the game is. And so for the Little League, you guys go out there and crush it. Pearland, we love you guys. And for softball, it's the same way. Get involved. Be around the community again. Re-engage. Sometimes it's okay to take a knee, drink water, but after a while, you got a Charlie Mike.
Charlie
Again,
Mike,
gentlemen, I really appreciate you guys coming on, spending some time with us. You can find them at lswo.us. Yeah. And if you guys got anything for us, make sure you give them a follow at facebook.com/Lone Star Warrior Outpost. Lone Star Warrior Outpost. Don't forget, if you like this, please share it with your community. Like, share, comment. Let us know how we're doing, good or bad. Tell me how bad I suck. And did you guys miss Raul and you want him back? Trust me, I do too. We're sending you love, Raul. As always, Charlie Mike.